What's up guys, how's it going? Okay, so today we're gonna mod the small clone. This is a brand new one, this is a 2022. These newer small clones sound very different to me at least from the vintage small clones. And I ripped this thing apart, really examined it inside and out, and I found some differences in here compared to the original small clones. So we're gonna mod it to the original spec. Okay, so really fast, let me pull up the schematic so I can show you what we're gonna do. Okay, firstly, here on the original, they use a 100 PF capacitor, and I noticed in the reissue, they increased that value to 150 PF. So we're gonna rip the 150 out, we're gonna replace it with 100 PF. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Secondly, I noticed here on the output stage, the original calls for a 6.8K, but in the reissue, they increased it to like 9.2 or 9.4 or something. I actually don't remember because I don't have it open in front of me, but we're gonna revert that back as per the original schematic. And lastly, the original calls for a 2.2 microfarad tantalum capacitor here. In the reissue though, they changed that to a 2.2 electro cap. My thoughts on this are they probably did it to save money because tantalum capacitors are getting kind of expensive in this day and age. So anyways, we're gonna rip that out, put the tant back in like the original, and that's pretty much it. That's all we need to do. So yeah, let's go. Oh, really quick word of caution. If you've never done any soldering work before or modded stuff, I suggest you watch some YouTube tutorials on that. It can be really easy to screw up your small clone, especially these really tiny little components, and desoldering from this itty bitty board can be really tricky. So just a fair warning, if you continue to do this mod, which I think you totally should, just be extra careful. Okay, all right, let's go. All right, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do is take this little control knob off. Be careful when you're prying it because you can break it. Secondly, you're gonna wanna loosen this little nut here and completely take that off and set that aside. Second, we're gonna do these 4 screws. You'll see them, it's kind of hard to see here, but you'll see them, they're really easy. Just remove those. And that is all you're gonna need to do to get inside of your small clone. Yeah, okay. Now that we're in, remove the battery. Electro Harmonix has cool batteries. Okay, yeah, so set that aside, and now you're gonna loosen this little thing here and push it forward so you can clear the pot. It'll make sense when you see it in person. Do that so you can get the pot out of there. And then also lastly, we're gonna take the bypass switch off. Do that and you will finally break your small clone free. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay, so the first cap we're gonna do is C17. Now it's kind of hard to see here, but it's labeled. When you have one of these in front of you, you'll see C17. So we're gonna pull that out. It can be really tricky, so you wanna be really careful not to screw up your circuit board. We're gonna replace that with 100 PF. I'm sitting here measuring, yes, it's 100 PF silver MICA cap. I'll put a link to all the stuff in the description. There it is, soldered in, looks good, okay. Second step is gonna be R21, and we're gonna pull that out and replace it with a 6K8. Sitting here measuring, yes, 6.8K, that is what we want. So here it is, replaced, soldered in. There's only one thing left to do now, and that is to replace this electrolyte cap. It is C19 on the circuit board. Rip that out of there. I really don't know why they used electrodes. The originals did not. You're gonna want to put a tantalum in there, a 2.2 UF tant cap. That is what you want. Measuring it, 2.2, okay, cool. That is what we want. There it is. It is in, and our mods are complete. That's it. Put your small clone back together the same way you took it apart basically, and yeah, pat yourself on the back because now you have a small clone to the original spec. And there's only one thing left to do. Plug it in and it will probably explode if you followed my instructions. Okay, not really. Let's test it out. So what'd you guys think? I think modding this thing definitely made it sound a lot better, especially for the Come As You Are solo. It sounded like identical. It was crazy. This thing did not sound like that before. So yeah, changing those little things definitely 100% helped. I think it's important to note there were two versions of this originally. There was two versions of the small clone. There was the Reticon 1024 chip version, which you can see in the schematic, and then there was the Panasonic chip version. In my opinion, they sound different from each other. The Reticon 1024 chip versions have something a little extra special. The chips are different. As a matter of fact, to use the Panasonic version chip, it shows in the original schematic this mod that you have to do here to do so. So these were originally designed to be used with the Reticon chips. And the thing is with those, they sound so distinctive, I guess would be the word. They make a lot of noise, they distort, there's actual clocks inside of them, 1970s technology, and for some reason, in this day and age, we just can't make things that sound that quirky. The Panasonic chips were much better chips, technically speaking. And doing this mod that we did here today, your small clone will be on par with an original Panasonic chip version of the small clone. However, the Reticon versions sound a little bit different. There's some comparisons on YouTube where you can hear a vintage Panasonic version versus a vintage Reticon version, and there's clearly still a difference. That being said, the Reticon versions are going for, I haven't seen one go for under 1,000. I totally can't afford to do that. And for the Panasonic versions, I haven't seen them go for under 500. So still, by doing this mod, you can basically safely say you have a Panasonic version of the small clone. I don't know why Electro Harmonix made the changes that they did for the reissue. It seems to be a common thing with a lot of manufacturers. They improve products, make them better, and in the process of that, you lose a little bit of what made it special in the first place. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you decide to do this mod. Let me know how it goes. Be careful. Don't mess up your small clone. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this was a fun video to make. And the small clone's a pretty cool pedal. Anyways, okay, I'll shut up now. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.